try again. Hello and welcome, but no. Hello and welcome back to Vinyl Friday, where I'm modeling this beautiful themed shirt that was a gift from my mother, except it's freezing cold, so I'm also wearing a woolen turtleneck underneath. I hope I'm not committing some sort of fashion faux pas. Actually, that's not true. I really don't care whether or not I'm committing a fashion faux pas. Anyway, this is not why we're here, is it? To those of you who are new, welcome! To those of you who are old, also welcome! And happy first Friday of the month. Given that date, it is time that we wander back into the rumors mill. Today we're going to be listening to a song that was fortunate to find a spot in a 2005 book entitled The Essential Music Guide for Your iPod and Other Portable Music Players. I don't know about that title, it doesn't really roll off the tongue, but this is the song in any case. Stay cold for long. The song is I Don't Want to Know, and it's not really the fourth track on the album, it's actually buried halfway through the second side. But as many of you know, we aren't going track by track through the original sequencing of the album, we're going track by track through what I think is a greatly improved track sequencing. So this is my personal track 4. I'll leave a link to a playlist in the description that has the full humbly improved track sequencing for this album. The reason that I think this is a great track 4 in my sequencing is that we've now had a couple of really boisterous songs of Secondhand News and Go Your Own Way. And we've brought things down to a simmer with Dreams. Now there you go again, you say you want your freedom. We don't want to stay at that simmer for too long, we want to bring it up just a little bit. Not to the same energy as Secondhand News and Go Your Own Way perhaps, but just a little bit elevated. And that's what I Don't Want to Know is giving us today. It's decided, he likes this one. My Fleetwood Mac rumors journey began when I discovered the album in a discarded cassette tape collection. Sacrilege. I was about 14 at the time and I had a little Radio Shack tape deck. And I'd initially bought it so that I could record my own little songs on it. So I used to go around with my little headphones, my little Radio Shack tape player, everywhere, just listening to Fleetwood Mac's rumors. All of this to say, this was a song that I loved straight away. I was immediately drawn to it. It was, you know, upbeat, so nice to listen to. Ultimately, I think that this song is everything that is right with Fleetwood Mac. Their music, at least in this iteration of the band, was rarely progressive or overly showy, but every element of the band worked together to achieve this perfect outcome. So today we're gonna break down that idea a little bit and look into it with more detail, and then we're going to close by continuing our journalistically rigorous investigation into Who Won The Breakup? And if that seems a little unethical, don't worry, Stevie says they're fine now.
We did get over it. We all got over it, you know?
Let's look at the song as a whole to begin. This is one of Stevie's tracks, and it is unassuming, but catchy as hell. It's actually not a song that she expected to have on this album because she had poured her heart and soul into another song, only to have it ripped from her loving grasp at the last minute and essentially discarded. But that's a story for another day. That day will come, don't you worry. This is a story about the song that took its place. I really enjoy that this song embodies uncertainty. Like, on the one hand, the singer doesn't want to know. But then the rest of the lyrics read like that same person is trying to figure out what has gone wrong. There are lots of lines like, she goes on to say, okay, great, but also, which is it, Stevie? Are you not trying to stand between him and love, or are you hanging on to him and trying to survive? She's all in her head. She's very confused. This next line that I'm about to point out neither supports nor refutes the point that I'm trying to make here. It's just one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac lyrics. Now you tell me that I'm crazy. It's something that I didn't know. As somebody who sometimes flirts with sanity, that line speaks to me. But because the song is sung in harmony, it creates this really interesting effect where it becomes a shared confusion. Both of them are singing it. Each of them is singing it to the other. It just muddies the waters. And it's interesting because this song predates their breakup. In fact, it predates their joining Fleetwood Mac. Like, this is a recording of them playing it as Buckingham Nicks in 1975. And you can hear it's just not the same song without that backing band. It doesn't have the same impact when it's not being carried by the Fleetwood Mac rhythm section. So let's have a listen to that rhythm section. Now the rhythm section in this song is almost painfully simple. Now I don't have a drum kit, so let's pretend this is the kick, which sounds like this, and this is the snare, which sounds like this. This is what the drums are doing. And so on. That's basically it for the whole song. Simultaneously, the bass is playing these single notes, which sounds like this. Boom, 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 boom. There are a couple of little flourishes in between the bars sometimes, and we will come back to that. But for the most part, it is so rhythmically straightforward, and it must have been incredibly boring for John McVie to play. But when you take these two very simple elements together, they magically create this groove that digs into your bones. Maybe because it's so simple, the little accents, the little bits where the rhythm section deviates from that, are especially effective. Like the snare hit at the beginning, well placed. Here it comes. Here's another. Stevie's little hand claps. They come in at a point, I don't mean to condescend, big hand claps, whatever, they're hand claps. They come in at a point in the song that is quite repetitive, this part. That sort of a pattern repeats a few times. So these hand claps mean that when that pattern repeats, there's a novel element, it's not boring. Plus, they're great hand claps. They sound like this. Great hand claps. Little things like that can just make a song for me. I'd like to spend some time with the guitarist now. Like some of the other songs that we've mentioned on this Rumour Mills mini-series, this song has a multi-layered guitar texture that Lindsey Buckingham has put together. As I understand it, it's a combination of a 12-string acoustic guitar and electric guitars. And those two things in combination sound sort of like this. Now, I think that the twanginess of the electric guitar in combination with the extra treble boost that you're getting from the extra 6 strings on the 12-string guitar give it this shimmering quality. Just a little bit glittery. I enjoy that. Another thing to note is that the guitar solo is very pentatonic. Now don't panic, we're not going to get too technical, but we are going to spend some time with the guitar correspondent who's going to explain that a little bit better. Over to you, my friend! So there's this scale that's used in rock and roll music. It's called the pentatonic scale, presumably because it's based around 5 notes. And you can use it as a major scale or a minor scale, and it sounds like this. Given that it's based around only 5 notes, it's incredibly versatile because it is the scale that's used in Honky Tonk Woman by the Rolling Stones, Sweet Home Alabama, Maggie May by Rod Stewart, Let It Be by the Beatles, and one of my favorites, Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. It's also what Lindsey Buckingham is using to construct his solo for this song. Now I'm going to play through the B major pentatonic scale again. Notice where I place my fingers. Now I'm going to play through the beginning of Lindsey Buckingham's solo. Notice that my fingers, with the exception of one note, stay on those same frets. I'm going to be playing this completely without flair, just so that you can see the notes. But it hurts my heart to do it. See, they're almost all in exactly the same place. And yet, this song sounds nothing like Sir Duke. Such is the versatility of the pentatonic scale. Ba-ba! Back to you. Now let's explore what those lovely vocalists are doing with their throat pipes. Throat pipes, yep. I would say that a hallmark of Fleetwood Mac's shtick is that you've got these very tight, well-executed harmonies working in aid of very hooky, very catchy melodies. This is an excellent example of that. The melody that Stevie is singing and the melody that Lindsey is singing, they're individually very dynamic and very enjoyable. Lindsey is singing this. I don't want to know the reasons why love keeps right on walking on down the line. Stevie might be a bit too high for me, but we'll see how this goes. Pray for me. I don't want to know the reasons why love keeps right on walking on down the line. Both great melodies, but so much better together. And it's not just that the two melodies work really well together. It's that Stevie and Lindsey work really well together. Perhaps not in practice, but vocally, Stevie and Lindsey work really well together. As an example, here's an earlier take of the song in which it's just Lindsey's part.
I don't wanna know the reason why I'm lucky. I don't know walking on down the line.
Even though Lindsey's a great singer and the melody is really enjoyable, the song's boring. Not only does this song need that harmony, it kind of has to be Stevie and Lindsey. To demonstrate my point, I found this version that they did on Glee. For all the people who say that Fleetwood Mac is too slick, this is what slick sounds like to me.
I don't wanna know the reasons why love keeps right on walking on down the line.
You see what I mean? It's too clean, it's too perfect. It lacks the grit that Stevie in particular is delivering on this track. She had to record her vocals for this song basically right after they told her that that other song was being booted off the record. And there's sort of a fire that you can hear in that, especially, like, listen to how she sings the second verse. It's a little bit tricky to hear with Lindsey singing with her, but there's just this gravelly edge to her voice. She's singing her guts out.
I don't wanna know the reasons why love keeps.
It sounds like she's shouting it. I can tell you right now, they are not shouting it on Glee, with all due respect to Glee.
Oh, yeah.
Oddly enough, she has this to say about it.
I love singing that song with Lindsey because that was one of our Everly Brothers singing things that was really close and tight and really a lot of fun to sing. So if it was going to be replaced with anything, that was a good replacement.
Although now that I think about it, there is a very special kind of joy that you get in producing a sound in harmony with other people. It really lifts your spirit in a way that nothing else does, in my experience. We sing with a lot of harmony in my band.
I'm empty and aching and I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America.
The moments where our voices merge do verge on spiritual sometimes. So I can understand where she's coming from. It is nice to sing harmony well with other people, even if that person is someone that you are currently breaking up with, I assume. Now, in the Dreams episode last month, possibly in the video or in the comments, I don't remember which, we talked about how the cadence of the chorus, while being technically incorrect, really is what makes it so catchy. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. This does a similar kind of thing. Right on, walking on down the line. The emphasis is in the wrong place from a grammatical syntax perspective, but musically, very satisfying. Once again, you can find that hook in her subverting the way that we speak the language. Very catchy. Excellent rhythmic choice. Well done, Stevie. But although this is a Stevie song, and she's giving it her all, this song is not only the Stevie show. Because for all that Lindsey Buckingham could be a grade A asshole, I've got to give credit where credit is due. He was an excellent arranger. As we've discussed, the instrumental arrangement of this piece is very simple. But although it doesn't sound like much is happening, that is a deliberate choice. That is an arrangement choice that is being made, and it is a good one because the vocal work is intricate. If the instruments were doing too much, it would detract from the vocals. As it is, they are keeping things at a bare minimum, and in doing so, they're centering the vocals of the track. It's very smart arrangement work. We discussed the clapping earlier. Intentional arrangement choice. But another that I really enjoy is the way that some of the instruments will trade off each other, like the guitar and the bass in the verse. At the end of one phrase, the bass does this like bum 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 bum, and at the end of the next phrase, the guitar does this new new, but they never occur in tandem because it would be too much input, especially when you consider the vocals happening on top. Bass goes first. Guitar. Nice. Everything has its place. It's in this arrangement that we can see that Fleetwood Mac operates as a collective.
There's that, I won't say magic, but there's a core. We are doing something that is worthwhile here.
And it would just spark off.
Editor Nancy here. Now that I'm not put on the spot, I can actually think of better examples than I could when I was filming, so don't mind me, I'm just gonna cut in every now and then.
Lindsey Buckingham is a great guitarist, but he's not
Alan Holdsworth.
Mick Fleetwood, strong drummer, but he's no
Neil Peart.
John McVie lays a solid bottom end, but he's no virtuoso. He's not
Chris Squire.
But you take some really strong songs and you deliver them via these beautiful tight harmonies, and you bring together all of those instrumental elements, and it's pop perfection. I don't know how they are received in the States and the UK, but they are massive here. People, don't swear, people love Fleetwood Mac here. And finally, I'm sure we've all been electric with anticipation throughout this entire episode. We can now release that tension because it is time for Who Won The Breakup? Now, in case you're new to this investigation, I'm using 3 metrics to help determine who won this breakup: Stevie Nicks or Lindsey Buckingham. The first metric is personal growth. Is this a song that is being written and performed from a place of pettiness, or is our songwriter showing great restraint and maturity? The second metric is songwriting. In essence, how good is this song? And the third is passion. Is it being sung without conviction, or is there a tempestuous rage behind it? So let's apply these concepts to this song, which I love. Now this one is a little bit tricky because we do know that Stevie Nicks, when she wrote the song, was not writing explicitly about a breakup that was happening, but it was recorded in the context of a breakup, so we're just gonna have to take it at face value. Personal growth. I would say that this song is moderately mature because you get lines like, "I don't want to stand between you and love, honey, I just want you to feel fine." Stevie wants the best for the person that she is breaking up with. At the same time, she is letting us know the intense turmoil that she is experiencing in this breakup. But there's also this element where she's kind of psychoanalyzing her partner. And lines like, "Take a listen to your spirit, it's crying out loud. You say you love me, but you don't know." Lindsey sort of does a similar thing in Go Your Own Way when he says,
How can I, when you won't take it from me?
So they are each sort of psychoanalyzing each other, but there's something about the way that he does it that feels so much more accusatory than her. "Take a listen to your spirit, it's crying out loud. You're going through turmoil too." So what's my answer? How mature is this song? I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Add that to the board, please. It's not immature, but to me, it sort of seems like it doesn't know where it's going. Now for songwriting, I would say that this is not Stevie's strongest song, and unfortunately I would say that the song that they booted off this album is a much stronger song. But it's certainly not her weakest effort either, so I'm gonna give this song a 6. Now, as for passion, even though the song itself doesn't seem like an especially passionate song, I feel like Stevie is giving it her all. So I'm gonna give this an 8. How does that add up? Well, I think we'll find that Stevie's average for this song is 6.83 recurring out of 10. So essentially the same score as Go Your Own Way. Now, if we're to take an average of Stevie's 2 songs to date, she's coming out at 7.01, whereas Lindsay is coming out at a paltry 5.55, probably because of the pettiness and secondhand news. Really put him at a disadvantage. Strong start for Stevie though. There you have it, folks. Tune in next time for Who Won The Breakup? That's it for me. If you enjoyed this episode or you would like to support any of the weird things that I do, I will leave a link in the description for my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you are welcome to make a donation, but no pressure, friends. Thank you to everybody who has made a donation or signed up as a member. I appreciate you so very much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you here next week. Have a great weekend! The record player's not on. Right, so these hand claps, I've just realized how incredibly busy these two patterns are next to each other. I apologize to your eyes. Doctor, my eyes. Now let's take a listen to Your Spirit. It's crying out loud. I'm very distractible today. Love keeps right on. Oh no. Right on, walking on down the line. God. Line. Oh man. I don't want to know. Love keeps. Nope. Right on. No. Ah. Stevie. Good enough.
I don't wanna know the reasons why I love you. Right on, walking on down the line. I don't wanna stand between you and love, honey. I just want you to feel fine.
Oh man. I came to work in the same outfit as the guitar correspondent. How embarrassing.